So, we suppose that you are getting it. Many of you have been listening to us for a while. That what it is all about is finding something to feel good and focus upon it. And you say, oh, yeah, that's all fine and well for you, Abraham. You don't have rent to pay. You don't care where your next meal's coming from because you don't really have a body. Housing's not a problem for you. You can be anywhere you want to be. It is ever so much better for you to finally get into vibrational alignment with the well-being that is you. We want to help you to discover that you can feel good right now no matter what. No matter what the circumstances are that are surrounding you. If you can find a way to feel a little better, then you will release a little resistance, and when you release a little resistance, then you will be able to feel a little better still. And if you will still try to feel a little better, then you will release a little more resistance, and when you release a little more resistance, you will feel better still. Teachers say, follow your bliss. We think those are the best words that have ever been offered. We think that if you could do that, if you could follow your bliss, if that mattered more to you than anything, or if you could be one that your grandmother had taught to be one who appreciates, then you would live happily ever after also. But the trouble with following the mantra, follow your bliss, is that when you are depressed or when you are in the middle of something that is upsetting, you don't have access to blissful thoughts. And so you just make failed attempts. Sometimes you just mimic, you smile the smile. That would be like having a gas gauge on your automobile dashboard that says empty, and you say, oh, I can fix that, and you just stick a happy face sticker over it. There. I feel a lot better now that I can't see that empty tank. And we say, so far so good. But we don't recommend that you leave it there for long because you're going to run out of gas. And you say, well, then I'll deal with it then. And sometimes that's what happens. You have emotions that are letting you know that your thoughts are resistant in nature and that you are pinching off your source to wellness and your source to clarity and well-being and all good things. And you say, well, I'll deal with it later. Meanwhile, I'll just pretend that I'm happy. I'll smile when I'm supposed to, and I'll say the right words, while deep down inside, something's sort of gnawing at me. And what we're wanting you to decide today is that you're not going to let anything gnaw at you anymore. You're going to get back out into the sunshine where you belong. But we want to help you to let yourselves off the hook by saying to you, don't try to do it all at once. Don't measure yourself against anything else. Don't say, my sister is so happy, and therefore I want to be more like that. And look at how prosperous that person is. I want to be more like that. It's fine to let those examples inspire your desire, but don't try to measure your progress by anybody else's progress, because you don't have access to those vibrational factors. You don't know how they want, you don't know why they want, you don't know how long they've wanted, you don't know how their desire feels. You don't know what they believe, you don't know why they believe, you don't know how they came to believe it, you don't know how deeply they believe it. You cannot measure the vibrational frequency of anyone else, only yourself, and you do it through your own emotions. As we're moving forward here today, we want to show you how you can release resistance. And we like to talk about releasing resistance by saying moving up the vibrational meter. A good mental picture is, imagine a cork floating on a surface of the water. That's that pure high fast vibration where you really are. That's where your inner being is. That's where joy is. That's who you really are. Now hold the cork under the water. That's what negative emotion is. But notice that when you let go of the cork, it bobs right back up to the surface. And so as we're talking about this vibrational meter, we're talking about the lower vibrations or the more resisted vibrations being those like depression and despair. In other words, hatred is lighter than depression or despair. And anger is lighter still. And blame is lighter still, believe it or not, because there is more power in blame. And frustration is lighter still. And a feeling of contentment is lighter still. A feeling of hopefulness is lighter still. And then there is that feeling of appreciation and love and joy that are lighter still. And so today we're going to talk about moving up the vibrational meter, but we want to help you to understand that if you are in a place of severe depression and you say, well, my goal today is joy, we say we would choose something closer to where you are. We would say, it is perfectly all right for you to lust after the delicious emotion of anger. And you say, oh, Abraham's teaching us to be angry. And we say, not if you're frustrated. We would never try to get you to go from frustration to anger. That's going the wrong way. But we would encourage you to go from anger to frustration. Some might say, well, we have loftier goals. And we say, we do too. We want you to get into your ecstasy and joy, just not all at once. And in the same way, you can't set your radio station on 98.6 and hear what's being broadcast on 101 FM. If your vibration is set on anger, you're not going to go to joy, not without changing the subject. And even if you can change the subject, if you are in a very strong place of negative emotion, you're going to return there. Now some of you are thinking, Abraham, I sat in that chair one day, or I saw someone sit in that chair one day, and you wouldn't even let them talk about what was bothering them. And now you are wanting to encourage us to focus upon things that make us angry. And we say, what we are really wanting is that you use your guidance. And like Magellan, you say, here's where I am, and here's where I'd like to be. And that you don't get freaked out about the path that is on the way. Jerry and Esther are traveling from Phoenix to San Diego. And as they are headed to San Diego, eager to be there, halfway is Yuma. And when they find themselves in Yuma, they do not just stop at the side of the road and cry. They do not become so disoriented that they turn around and go back to Phoenix. Because it's easy to understand the distance between where they are and where they want to be. It's quantifiable, it's measurable, it's discernible, it's understandable. From where you are relative to everything, we want it to be just that understandable. You could be in serious physical condition, and we want you to understand where you are in relationship to where you want to be. And these are the most important words that you will hear from us today, or maybe ever. Your journey is first and foremost an emotional journey. First and foremost, it's a vibrational journey. It's a vibrational journey from resistance to allowing, which means it's a vibrational journey from despair or depression into that breath-giving anger, into that even more breath-giving blame, into that even more breath-giving frustration. And by breath-giving, we mean, can you feel the relief that anger gives you from depression? Can you feel the relief that frustration would give you from anger? Creation is about relaxing and releasing the resistance that is the only thing that is keeping you from anything that you want. Creation of anything, or the distance from where you are to any place you want to go, is an emotional distance. If someone says to us, Abraham, I don't have enough money and I want more money, they think that the journey is from not enough money to more money. They think that the journey is to find a way to get more money. And we want them to understand that the journey is to find a way of not feeling bad about not having enough money. The journey is about feeling better about where I am. The journey is about finding relief, because when you are able to feel around somewhere and find some thought that gives you a little relief, no matter what it is, and it may not be a thought that anybody you know thinks. Doesn't matter how anybody else thinks about it. If it gives you a feeling of relief, you've released some resistance. And when you release some resistance, now the world opens to you in another way. Some who are sick think that the journey is between sickness and wellness. Even when you are in physical pain, you think that the journey is to stop the pain and to be free of the pain. And we say that is a closer understanding, because in the relief of the pain, you are allowing the wellness. But if you will let it be an emotional release first, rather than the physical release of the pain. In other words, if you could say, yes, my foot hurts, or yes, my tooth hurt, or yes, my stomach hurt. Yes, I am in pain, but I'm more afraid And if you could release the pain of the fear, the other pain would have to go too, because they all come from the same place. They are all about the same thing. So today, we're going to move up the vibrational scale. Up the vibrational, let's give it a name, the emotional scale. It is vibrational, but let's call it the emotional scale. And if you will make a decision today that you are going to discover from wherever you are relief from that emotion, and we want to say to you, even in the upper registries of love and joy, there is still potential for relief in emotion. In other words, there is no limit as far as we can figure out to how good we can all feel. So we are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. It is helpful if you will talk about things that matter most to you. Curiosity questions are fine too. You will discover a wonderful unfolding here. Sometimes people who precede you will make the perfect premise for your question. Sometimes your question will be inspired right here in this room. That is always wonderful, co-creating at its best. It is our expectation that together today we will take thought beyond that which it has been before. And it is our absolute promise to you that anything that you have come wanting to know, we've received it fully, and whether you sit in the chair or not, we will answer it on more than one occasion. If we were sitting in your seats, here is the attitude that we would have. When I leave here today, I will have answers to everything that I came wanting to know. And even better, I will now understand that there is no place that I cannot go. No limits for me. Anything that I want. It's a matter of focusing upon what I want and releasing the resistance. A very simple thing to do. Right here, then right here, then right here.